Welcome back to the Rainbow Six Siege Masterclass. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 tips and tricks that only 1% of you may know. Let's kick things off with the Auto Vault. Before getting the vault prompt up onto this ledge was actually difficult, and now you can just run and hold space and you'll automatically vault onto it. Now, if you want to remove this auto vault functionality, you actually have to move spacebar to a different key that you are going to use for vaulting. Even if you rebind the vault key, it will auto vault no matter what by holding space. That is something that cannot be rebound. Just bear that in mind. Now, let's get into number 9. Bandit batteries actually can be utilized through walls. On certain spots and certain maps, this can be done. Whether it is effective or useful is dependent on the situation. But if you come up to a wall, you can actually just place down a bandit battery through the wall to electrify the other side. Now, this can stop Callie from being able to take the battery off the wall by firing her puck onto the wall in question. It depends on how thick the surface is on either side as to whether this can be done, but it is something that can be utilized. I think it may even work potentially here. Let's just try this out. Yep, it works here as well. And can we even see this from the other side? Not at all. All right, now we're moving on to barricades. There's 2 tips here, so this would be 7 and 6. Barricades take 19 bullets to break. So I have 31 in the mag. If I shoot it down. Now the next bullet will break the barricade. Now you can do it so you don't have pieces broken out, but that's how you bullet prep a barricade. So not every barricade is always as it seems. Now you also can vault through it at that point, I do believe. But anyways, moving on to doors. Doors and windows that are, say, like a single door or a single window can be prepped by just breaking out a 2 across by 3 down piece, and then you're shooting out like another piece. So it's roughly around here is where you aim, and then you knife out the piece, shoot out that, like so. This is not actually here, it's just lovely siege debris, and then you can vault into a room. Okay, now for our next tip, we're on to border. This will be number 5, the Nomad Air Jab drone trick. Now, Nomad Air Jabs, as a normal feature, will stick to a wall, get ready, be deployed, and then when an enemy comes through, they pop, they explode. Happy days, right? But if you want to get them into a more bunkered position as they just fire in a straight line, you can actually utilize a drone, for example. Here at border, you can do this whilst prone as well, so you're not in the firing line, for example. You can just shift the drone over and then fire an air jab off the drone. And as you can see, let me find where my vault key is. It hits the drone and falls straight down. You can have this land behind the table on the desk, and it will blast anyone back here from being able to swing out and peek you. Now, moving on to tip number 4. Kapkans actually do make noise, and they are audibly hearable. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and turn my audio up from being at 10 all the way to 100. And I'm going to place down some Kapkans on this door. So as you can hear, Kapkans make this little beep, 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 beep sound. And it's actually quite an audible sound if there is no other audio going on. If you're standing on a door, it's something that is quite easily hearable, so you don't have to constantly go out and check. But if there is gunfire, even ADS is nearby, anything that makes passive audio, like the Kapkan trap, it can actually be very hard to hear. Now, if someone has placed barbed wire, frost mats, and we want to rush plan or drop the skylight, and I want to clear the utility, and Osa has placed a shield very kindly for me, doesn't need to be perfectly in the middle, just as long as I try and get my fuse charge as in the middle as possible. Now, if I can place my fuse charge on this shield as high as possible, and as close to the middle of the skylight behind it, now when the fuse charge goes off, some should hit the back and then drop down and blow up the skylight utility that's been placed. Maybe it's frost mats or barbed wire. Some will bounce off of the edge of the window, and it is best to shoot out the glass before you do this. Otherwise, it can lead to some backfire situations and your teammates prematurely entering heaven, which is not too good. See how this works, and make sure you do stand back a bit, because some will hit the floor in front of it and break the Osa shield. As you can see, it perfectly removes utility below the skylight. Now, moving on to tip number 2, the Astro Vault. You're going to start off by shooting that piece that connects the telescope, and then when you wiggle around, you can find a vault prompt on the corner of this globe somewhere. Here we go. You can vault up onto the globe and then run all the way around to get up to the top. It's a little tricky. With a little bit of practice, I'm a little out of practice, it can be very easy to do. You can get up here, and you can even... Here we go. You can even place down bulletproof cams up there. I had my keyboard in the wrong layer. But as you can see, you can get cams up here nice and high. You can do this with Maestro cams. Obviously, bulletproof cams could still be taken out. But Maestro cams up there could be very, very annoying to remove. And now for the final tip, the most important one of all, that only 1% of players truly know, is that you can use this thing that I'm speaking to you with called a microphone to give information to your team, not just call them an idiot. It's strange to think, really, isn't it? But as always, links are in the description to Fiverr if you would like one-on-one coaching. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.